Starting our recording. This is our lecture for Design 320. It's Thursday, April 15th, and I've made some videos. Some of you said, "Come on, show us what we're supposed to do here." So I made two videos. I'm not going to go over them really in class. I'm just calling out that they're there, and I'll show you what my source folder looks like. And then what I really want to do is talk about your template and the annotations. I think you all got fine models, and I want to work on those just a little bit more. So that's what we've got up, and then I can answer some questions. So the first thing is it's very easy to do, is this link to source assignment files. Source assignment files. Source is where you get things from. Assignment is your assignment, and the file are the files that I give you. So assignment files, the source, the ones I'm giving to you, they let you know what to do. Oh, let you know what to do. I think there's a thing that says what to do, so you can, and I'm getting better at this. I'm giving you just about everything on one little sheet here. So if you want to, you could, for that, copy it and paste it onto a Google Doc. Now, where might you put that Google Doc? That Google Doc would be in some Google folder with your work in it, and you might even have it organized by week or by project, something like that. And so you can give me the link to that file. Now, please be sure anyone on the internet can view. Anyone with the link can view. So if you give me a link, especially if you give it to my email address, because that's not what I log into Google Docs on. I have a W number at apps.losrios.edu, just like you guys do. And so sometimes I'm trying to get in and I can't get access. Even when I switch, sometimes I can't get access. So you have to be sure that you've shared it. Right down here, anyone with the link, look, you can click on it, click. Anyone with the link can view. And then I'll go, oh, I got it. That's what you had to do. Now, this is part of your, how do you organize yourself for the workplace? This is really key. This is what gets people jobs over other things. They figure they can train you to use their software. They can train you in, how to answer the phone. They can train you on how to use their equipment. But they want people, they being hiring managers, want people who can organize their files, save them, transmit them, organize them, rename them. Like, why do you think I put 00 in front of it? It's because I wanted it at the top when I look at this stuff. And then there's another one that I want near the top that's the actual file that I'm going to use. Okay, so but it's up to you. And then here's another thing then. So that's what goes there, is the link to your source files. And the easiest place to get that, I think, is from here, because it gives you the playlist, everything you're supposed to watch, your template, discussion board things. Really gives you the whole 9 yards for this week. This is what you were supposed to do. And then the next thing that it asks you is Google Drive folder with all the files from this week. Well, I've got I've got my what to do file. I have my actual model. And then because I'm using the Jamboard that has a bunch of images on it, and I've got things kind of spread out, and I've got images of this and images of that. And some of the images I get off the web. I need copies of those, snips and things like that. Where did I get those? So those should all be in this same folder. And to get that, whoop, I just clicked on the wrong thing there. You click on my work, and right next to it is the share button, and you get the link to that, and you make sure that I can see it. Anyone with the link can view, copy the link, done. And that'll go here on Google Drive. Okay, so that's not obvious. I can tell that that's not all obvious because it doesn't just happen. People don't just go, I got it. There we go. Many people, usually about 10% of the class, already knows how to do this. Now, I haven't made a big deal up until now because there have been many other things in this class that I wanted you to really deal with. Now we're starting to work on organizational concepts in an architectural or engineering environment, as well as spatial. And I don't know why these are put together into the same SLO. I think these ought to be two separate SLOs. Sorry about that. I have to, I don't know why that isn't working. My apologies on that. So these are basic organizational concepts, and of course, we're just starting to work on those. So now I'm giving you specific instruction on how to do these. Now, the last one, instead of sorting through everything, somebody might want to go, that is really cool looking stuff. I want to see the model. Well, look, it could be that somebody goes into here and goes, well, where's the model? Where is it? I don't see it. Where is it? And did you see how I can make it go from top to bottom or bottom to top? Where is it? I look through here. I don't know where it is. So it's nice to highlight the model itself and share it. Okay. So why do you do this? There may come a time in the future that you want to use this either in your portfolio or specifically later on for a job interview. And you might want to get this file, and because in a year you're going to know much more, you might want to just say, hey, I want to get that old file and I want to make it better. And that's what I want to use because it matches the requirement of what you've got. So this is how you can get to it. Or you might, the interviewer might say, that's a great picture. I'd like to see the model because that'll tell me kind of like how you go about making things and making models. So there's 3 levels of organization. There's what did you have that told you what to do? Can you coordinate all of your work for the week into one place? And can you give me the specific model? And remember to put your links in, you just highlight it and go up here, paste your link. Okay. Any questions on that right off the bat, or did that sound? And I gave you 2 videos, by the way. There's 2 videos that I posted into here. There's link to source assignment files video and Google Drive video. So those are now in the playlist. But before we go on to talk about your submittal itself, are there any questions on that? Because that's kind of key stuff. And I understand that it's not obvious. Yeah, May. Yeah, the portfolio has the same type of information. And most of you got a markup on your portfolio too. So yes. Uh-huh. No, you still need to do this. You still need to give me the pictures. I'm just explaining what these things mean. You still need, yeah, I'm glad you asked that clarifying question. You still need to do all this other stuff. I'm just showing you specifically how do you do this and how do you do this. But I didn't make you a special video on this because everybody's nailing it. You guys are all you're all giving me really really good work here, and everybody's giving me really really good work here. So I don't think I need to give any explanation on that. Um, Everybody's doing a really nice job on all this. Okay, cool. I'm glad you asked those questions. That's those are important clarifications for sure. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look. And I just gave you a link to a few things, and you can go to the Jamboard and look. But um, you've got a few more things. Like this one says, present an image of each specialty object in your design. What's special in your design? Okay, Leah has a question. Let's see. Oh, items inserted into Revit. Yeah, Leah, what's your question? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's exactly what you do. You from the 3D warehouse, you save it to like the desktop or something like that. So let me do one. I've got this. This is Janice's right here. So like, yes, yeah. So if you're in, that's a good question. So I'm going to get into here really quick and I'll get into the 3D warehouse from SketchUp and I'll do the search and is it gonna, wow, I guess I'm still in here. So let's say I want to, I want to search for bathtub. There's a bathtub. Oh, it's going to make me, all this signing in, right? I'm not typing right. Okay, so I'm gonna download this thing. Oh, this one's configurable. I don't want that. Let me go back. Oh, come on. There we go. Sorry about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll download this thing. Why does it say configure? What kind of weird stuff are they going on here? Don't want that. 3D warehouse. Models. There we go. I would just want a model. There's a bathtub. Here. I'm gonna use this very simple bathtub. Download, and I'll do some old style one. No, it should be any year. I always use an old one just in case I'm going to use it somewhere else. So there it is. It's on my desktop now. And it is a model. It's a model because I asked for models. Oh, I don't know what you downloaded then. So that should just be something like that. It should just, and if I look for a SketchUp file, oh, and it's huge. Look at the size of it. So it needs to be scaled for sure, right? This one's probably in some weird version. Where's my scale? So that one wasn't a very good one to pull in. Sometimes you get really crummy models, right? Yep. Nope. Should just put it anywhere. Like I didn't have SketchUp open and it just downloaded it. Well, go ahead and get with me on during either lab tomorrow or in a meet, and we'll have to take a look at it because whatever you're downloading is kind of a wrong wrong thing. So maybe what's happening, depending on what you download. Let's download this thing. Right? If you're downloading folders or collections, or I don't know what it is that you're actually downloading. Okay. And it's, yeah, and it's asking me these things. So there's more details about it. Right. And so just make sure that it's a 3D model and you should just be able to download it. Bank, just right there. Collection. I don't know what these other things are here, but that's an actual real. Yeah, yeah. It's just import CAD. Save it really quick here. Just import CAD. I'll go to my and just pick it. Make sure it says SketchUp file. Well, yeah, then just input insert your Revit. It's called link. You link it. Is it a family? Load family. Yep, just load your family. Yep, that does it. Okay. So Leah, you'll have to kind of just check that out and see what's going on there. But you can make an appointment with me. I look at my appointment schedule; it's a little bit full, but you can email. Right now, my schedule's looking pretty full. A bunch of people are trying to get a hold of me. But if you email me, I can squeeze you in, here, or like I can probably open this one up. I don't think I'm going to be doing that one. So let me just do that right now. Yeah, I just opened up a couple more, Leah, though. So if you're available, that's cool. We can take a look at that. And if that doesn't work, I can open these ones up if I need to. Okay, cool. So I'll hop on there right now and go do that. Okay, so that's all good. These are all those hard things to do technically. But now let's take a look at this. It says present an image of each specialty object and the 3D model. So I chose to do that this way, where I'm looking at the objects in my view, and what I did is I just hid the wall. I didn't erase it. I hid the wall, and then I just opened that up, took a snip, and I said where I got it. Revit family 23.4. That's what it is. So that people can kind of see what that is. So this is just a way of saying, okay, here are some of the special things that I've got. Now, I may even want to put, and I'm doing this in Jamboard, which is not very good. So now let me put blue. Maybe I'll put something like this, locking handles even. If there's something, maybe there's something, sorry, this is such a weird little thing. There we go. If there's something very interesting about this, you can talk about it. If it's just a pretty simple standard display cabinet, and you can even title it. So what we're getting at with this page is, again, it's a presentation style, it's an organizational style. This is telling me where to find it in Revit. It's telling me what it is. This is telling me special features about it, and I don't necessarily need that. I can actually just move that right next to it if I want to. There's locking handle. So you'll do your own presentation style. So Leah asked, where do you find the things in Revit? Let me go show you that really quickly. Right. Right. So as an example, here's the cabinet. So I'm just going to double click on it and it goes to the edit family thing. And I just took a snip of this, and up here it's called the residential table and cabinets, and its omni class number is 2340, 2014, and 17, which is like a master format spec. Do you remember that class where I made you look at master format specs and omni class numbers, and it's like, how do you look those up? And so this, yes, and oh my gosh, it actually gets used so that somebody could go and go, oh, I got it. I know exactly what that one is. And you can go into revitcity.com and look these things up by master format number too, if you'd like. Okay, but this you could just call it, it's a cabinet, it's a display case. Here's the master format or omni class number, and that's where you get it. And this is where I got my snip. And then I can just close that up. Cool. And like, here's one for a sofa, right? I'll just double click. And I'm taking the liberty of using Janice's one. So here's another, it's a different number, as you can see, right? Settees and sofas is the title, but it's still under 234020. blah, 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 but it's got a different set of numbers at the back that kind of classify it just a little bit differently. And so you could, again, if I wanted to, I could take my snip of this. I'll save it. I don't know, 2.5, maybe. I don't know which one this is. And then I can go put that in. And if you're working in Google up here, it's just cut and paste, right? But in this Jamboard, it's not very useful. You have to actually insert images. But now I can, and I can do the rest of my cool typing. And I don't remember what that one just was. Blah, 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 blah. There. That's the Revit family for it. Okay. You have to go back up and look and see what was 2340 2014. 2340. And my memory is so bad. 2340 2014. There we go. And then you can say stuff about that. Cool. If like maybe this is a sleeper sofa or something like that. It really shouldn't be. I don't think we'd ask Janice, but I don't think so. Yes, so Natalia asked, you can just label these yes, especially if they're coming out of some place. Now, if you had that Revit family downloaded and wanted to save it for future use, you can actually save these in your drive and put them in your Google Drive. So if I wanted to, I could save that and put it in my Google Drive here, and then I could link to it. Okay. Yeah, and SketchUp too. Same type of thing. You're going to do the same thing. All of your little SketchUp files. The idea is on your presentation, you're putting these in. If you have a link to the file, you should put in a link to the file. That's what I demonstrated yesterday. But in your presentation itself on this page, which I'm demonstrating on the Jamboard, you'll just put all this information in and then you'll paste your link. Okay? Whether it be Revit or SketchUp or Chief Architect or Twinmotion or whatever it happens to be. Okay? What I'm trying to do is get you to understand the annotations are what's important here. Here's a visual, but my annotations need to bring something extra. Something, like, why did I put it in front of the door? What goes on in this? What's special about this? Why did I put that there? Display cabinet. What is it a display cabinet for? Or maybe it's for color samples or tiles and backsplash. Maybe that's what this is for. Or maybe you're going to put those here, and maybe this is for of different finishes for clients to handle. And maybe that's what goes here. I want you to be expressive about what's going on here. Okay. Now, you don't need everything. You don't need to talk too much about this chair, probably. This, that, and the other thing. But some things maybe you do want to do. Okay. So that's the purpose of this. And now look, here it is again. And maybe you want to have another visual of it because it's got different features to it. So present each specialty object and then the model that you use to present it. So here's where I'm presenting. What I mean by present the model is let me know exactly what that model is and give me a link to it. This is presenting your image of it and you're typing in what it is. Okay? So there's 12.2.1. All right? So the next one is each area or room and annotate it for clarity. So let's take a look. Here's one where I've got a number of the rooms all shown, but in this room, I'm showing it and I'm annotating it. What is this? This is a computer workstation for computer-aided design. Okay, and this is intended just for the owner to do bookkeeping and the business side of the job, and it's not intended for meetings or whatever. Blah blah blah. Right? And you could, this is just thrown in here. You can see because you can't get past these edges. We just threw some stuff in here and started working with it. But that would kind of give you an idea, right? I'm annotating this part of the visual for clarity. And here I could talk about this one and I would annotate. What is this room for? How is it being used? Is there anything special about it? What do they need to know? How about this area and this area? Okay, so I can see these areas and I might need more than one page here. Or it could be that I can get all of my areas in here. But I want a nice visual of it that helps me understand with annotations that clarify what the thing is and what its purpose is. Okay, so one of the things that is really cool if you take some of the reading classes is they tell you annotation skills. So visuals. Do I have visuals? Yes. Clarity and purpose. So somehow, if something is not clear, I need to clarify it. And if the purpose is not obvious, I need to tell the purpose. So by underlining the key words and the phrases, you can go back and grade this yourself. Okay, do I have a visualization of each area or room? And I would say, no, I have one. So I need to keep going. All right, but that's okay. For the one I did, is my visual annotated? Yes, I have annotations, things that I've written. Do I use them to describe the purpose? Computer-aided design, office, what it's for, and am I making something clear? Oh, yeah, it's not intended for meetings. So I think I'm trying to make this as clear as I can. I might even put another one in here that says this desk will be sized to allow 30 inches on one side. NTS, not to scale. So that would help me know, okay, I did my best. I got kind of a model, and that's okay, but it's not quite the right one, right? I'm not nailing it just yet. I'm kind of close. But nobody will go, oh, look at how big that desk is, and it needs to be turned around and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I got it. This is the model that was available to me. This is still just a visualization. I want to be able to just note that. So I'm clarifying it. I'm making it more clear. Yeah, that's a desk, but it's not really the one I'm going to use. Okay, does that help with this page, which is this page, present a visualization of each room. And here's that annotation thing. And of course, what you're going to do is you're going to delete that and put your work in here. You don't delete this part, but you delete this. So let's look at the last one. I'll come back to the Jamboard. So I rewrote this on the Jamboard for you. Present visuals of your finished design. So kind of like the whole building. Add annotations for clarity and purpose. So here's the whole design. And I thought this was kind of cool to be able to kind of show a layout so that you could see what the important features are. I've got workspaces. I've got a kitchen area. I've got this area, this area, this area, whatever they all are. I've got a bathroom over here, which I didn't show much of. Okay. And then I gave it a little bit better view over here. And I said, this is a rear view design and client meeting areas. Oh, so organizationally, what's happened is this person, the designer, has given me this stuff, this area. This is where I work. This is where I work. And this is the front that goes the kitchen and the demo area. And the kitchen is a demo area. Okay. The whole idea here, I think, as I recall, is that this is a demo space where you can show different types of interior design and stuff like that. And I put this in backwards. Oops. That's okay. Needs to rotate. I see this is facing the wall. But no matter. So, and then, I might say a little something about each of these areas and to clarify it, but I've got visuals of my finished design. Got this, I've got this, and I've got some annotations that are either telling me about the purpose or making something more clear. Like this is doing both. Okay, this is kitchen demo area. Kitchen demos are meant to show finish details like, and then maybe whatever you've got to say here. So I'm adding some information onto this. Cool. Okay. So that's what I really wanted to show you about the presentation. Now, I'm getting you ready for next week with this. Next week got a lot of stuff that you are probably not familiar with. Like you may not know sheet metal bending or plasma cutting or how to weld square tubing together or what different types of bolts there are or welding things. And this is going to be critical. Our last project is about designing a manufactured object. And the goal of this manufactured object is going to go along with this project. It's an outdoor item that would be meaningful to your project. So maybe it's outdoor seating or an outdoor demonstration area. Or maybe it just looks nice and it's a cool metallized fountain. Or maybe um, you need power and so you want to make a gazebo or some solar panels and you can make it out of wood. I'm not showing you all the wood stuff because most people have an idea on how to put wood together. You'll be able to do this in SketchUp or Inventor. I'm going to show you a new program called Inventor that you may wish to work in. And may, I'm not sure what you're using right now in 328, but as you know, Fusion is super, super, super similar to an Inventor. So, okay, so you guys are using Inventor. But if you do know Fusion, you'd be able to use Fusion instead of Inventor. And so if you've done some of that, you'll be able to make some cool sheet metal bending and plasma cutting and welding and square tubing. And so it's just a chance to do cool stuff. You're going to do some research next week. You're going to do your real design work with fabrication in mind. You've got to be able to fabricate it. And then the final week of the semester or of the project, you're going to get a chance to make some drawings of it, 2D orthographic drawings. And they'll be simplified enough that you can do those in SketchUp or Inventor or AutoCAD or whatever you'd like to do. You could even use PowerPoint if you want to. Okay, so I want you to be sure that you watched these. Talk about bending and sheet metal. This was my area of manufacturing for a huge portion of my career. Sheet metal, plasma cutting, welding, tubing, many of the products that I worked with utilized these, which is why I'm picking them, because I can give you background and some help with it should you need it. But I definitely want you to have watched those before we get going next week, and I'd like you to watch them this week. Okay? How many people have watched it already? Have any of you already watched those? Cool. They're neat. I love sheet metal bending, by the way. And it's called cold forming. And I even worked with at a really cool company called Ames Waterwork and Valve in Woodland. And we cold formed stainless steel. We'd take tube and we'd use these big 100-ton presses to cold form it over a mandrel that was it was awesome to watch. Big and powerful and neato. I love doing stuff to metal. It's just cool. And plasma cutting is really fun and cool too. So sparks going all over the place and flying all over the place. It's just really neat. So we'll work on that next week, but please be sure to have watched those. Okay, so we've got just a few minutes. Yeah, but that's okay. It's clues when you come to these items. I'm going to show you just some kind of cool things that you can do. And unfortunately, Autodesk did away with the cool program called Slicer. It was really neat. But you don't really have to know much about these things to know that, oh, when I do this, I need to bend a piece of metal. As a matter of fact, let me just show you right now, just to give you a little hint of what that's going to be like. And I'll do it in Inventor. And I'll pretend I'm making a light sconce. Okay? Because, most people have seen a light sconce. It's just kind of a cool thing that you make. I'm going to use Inventor because I like Inventor. And I'm going to do it in a simple way, but just kind of cool. Just kind of cool. It'll come up in just a moment. So a light sconce, of course, is something that you mount on the wall, and it's got a some sort of cool design that allows you to um, just go, oh, that looks cool. And it gives off some light. Doesn't have to give off a lot of light. So I'm going to make I'm going to come up here to new part, and I'm going to make what's called a sheet metal part, because I want this to be made out of sheet metal. There we go. Because I can bend sheet metal. It's thinking. There we go. And so check this out. So I'm going to start my sheet metal part here, and I'm going to make some sort of shape. I think it's going to be like 8 inches tall. And it's going to come out 4 inches and come back down to here. And that's going to be my main face. There it is. That's my main face. But now I want to make another piece. So I'm going to put a flange on there on that end, and I'll bend it by, let me see which way, 45? No. Minus, let's see if I can go minus 45. Does it let me do it? Yeah. Well, let's see. I need to get up here and look and see. No. There we go. And I want it also to be a little bit, oops, I did it on the right end. Okay. And so I'll make it a little bit longer. I'll make it 3 inches. Let me get that flange made 3 inches. One. There. So I got this kind of cool shape. Part of it's going to be mounted to the wall. And I can put a little bit more shape into this. There's some really cool things I can do, by the way. If I want to, I can even come and change that. Isn't that cool? Make that stick out even more. So I can just play around with this. And now I'm gonna put a light tube up and down in there. So I need something to mount my light tube onto. So let me go ahead and put another flange down here, and I'll go 90 degrees, and I'll make it only stick out 2 inches. Okay. And so if I were to stick this piece, and let me put my light tube in there. I'm going to put an LED light tube in there. And I think I can extrude that. Let me see. Maybe I'm not allowed to extrude that. Let's see. No, I'd have to make it an assembly. But I can put a light tube on there, which is really cool. And let me, just for fun, I think I can put a cut on this face. So I'll do, let's see if it lets me do an emboss. Full bend, contour him, create, oh, there we go. I can put a hole right there. So I'll just have this thing sitting on the wall, and it'll be made out of metal, and I can put little shapes on here. And when I put my light on, lo and behold, it will be a light sconce. Now, what's really cool about this is I can unfold this. Here's my A size, create my flat pattern. So I could plasma cut this, and then I could fold it into that shape, and I could mount that to the wall. So it's so easy. I just have to cut that out, cut this hole, and then bend it and put it on the wall. And I got some kind of a cool light sconce that I can do. And maybe what I even want to do is put bend up on there. Oops, too much. Still too much. There we go. I could even put that on there. So my light tube is all protected. And I just look at this thing. And when I walk by, I see this cool thing mounted onto the wall that's letting off light. And I see some light escape out the top. I see some light escape out this way. I see some light escape out down here. Just kind of a cool thing. And I can cut it out of metal and bend it. Isn't that the coolest thing? It's just really fun. So we'll do some research about that. Now, this isn't what you have to do. I'm just showing you as one potential thing that you might do. Another thing that you might want to do, sheet metal, is make a bench. So let me make a bench now. So benches usually have some rectangular thing to sit on. So I'll make it 18 deep. Sorry, by 48. Okay, and then I can do things like I can cut corners and cut channels and do other cool stuff like that. I could even put shapes in here if I want to. Well, there's my extrude. There's project geometry. There we go. But I'm going to make a very simple bench. So I'll make that my face. And then I'll just make a flange down here. And my bench is maybe 30 tall. No, it's not 30. That's usually like 23 for a bench. And I can do another one over here. And then I got a bench, but it's kind of wobbly. Okay. And so I can do things like put a flange on here. It's maybe 2 inches. And I can weld that to help it stay stable. And I can do the same thing on this one. So they're just thinking about it, right? How might I build it? Oops. How might I build this thing? And what can I do to make it strong and stiff? And then I could weld those two pieces together and it might be really strong. Okay. And maybe even I want one down here. And I can put some cuts in it and things like that. So there's other ways that I can do this. I can make this so that it's cut a corner seam and I can cut pieces out of it, and I can make the flanges, edges, distance to, blah, 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 bend positions, bend radius. Other things I can do with bends, giving it reliefs and lengths and remnants and just fun stuff like that you're allowed to actually do. Isn't that cool? Um, Another thing I could have done is put a cut right here and then let that bend down. All sorts of interesting, neato things. So that's a little bit of a preview to the next project. You can make benches, you can make fountains, you can make light sconces, you can make tables, bookshelves. Yeah, you could really do some cool interior design bookshelves and make cool shapes and how they might stay on the wall you're mounting. So Janice asks, could you do a specific bookshelf? Yes. And then there's embossing that you can do too. And I'm looking for some of these things. I got to find some of the extra ones to do in here. When it's sheet metal, you don't get quite as many things that you can do. But look, I can define my A side again, and that's what I would cut out of my piece of metal to be able to make that. And that's what we're trying to get to. Cool? Yeah. Cool. Well, this one will be a little bit different, but yeah, you're going to use the same program, but I'm going to ask you to be working in this, or let me show you. I don't have time. If you ask me tomorrow, I'll do you a tubing version also, where you can see that you can make a weldment frame. And so if you want to make your own furniture and put it in, yes, you can. The best way to do it is you would save this as you would make this, and then you would save it as a DWG export, and then you could put it into Revit when you're done. For now, you could just make a block. You could just make put anything in there that's kind of chunky and just label it that this will be custom furniture. Does that work for you, Leah? Just put an arrow that says custom furniture project number 4, something like that. That would be really cool. Okay. And look, we've got 3 weeks next week, starting next week. So there'll be a lot of research, a lot of looking, and I'll also show you how to make things out of slices. Maybe. For sure, I'll make flat pattern layouts, and I'll make sheet and tubing weldments. Okie doke. All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and turn off.